I am Brenda Austin-Smith, head of the Department of English, Film and Theatre here at the University of Manitoba, and I'm honored to be reading this citation today. The highest honor the Senate of a university can confer upon an individual is an honorary doctorate. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria includes distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. Our honorary graduate this afternoon is Ms. Miriam Toews. To read a novel by Ms. Toews is to travel with her on a personal and powerful journey. In one moment, this esteemed author might reveal the hypocrisy of a small prairie town, and in the next, introduce us to complex, vulnerable characters with remarkable comic sensibility. Readers and critics alike are pulled in by Ms. Toews' unique narrative style that bridges tragedy with humor, a delicate balance that feels real and an authentic reflection of life. Her poignant novels are conversation starters in homes and coffee shops across the country, opening the door to greater dialogue about topics difficult to talk about, like mental health and suicide. She has said that by writing about personal experiences of loss, she and the reader come out together in another place, a less dark place. Ms. Toews' literary gift has earned many honors, including the Governor General's Award for Fiction. When her novel, A Complicated Kindness, hit shelves more than a decade ago, it provided a window into the Mennonite community in which she was raised. The book was revered for its brilliance and depth. It is dark, funny, sad, superb. And the accolades have continued through to her latest work, her sixth novel, All My Puny Sorrows, which won the Rogers Writers' Trust Fiction Prize. Before Ms. Toews became an award-winning author, she was a tomboy growing up in Steinbach, Manitoba, the daughter of an elementary school teacher and a social worker. Her home was full of laughter, as well as hardship. She saw firsthand how family members battled depression. She knew, even by grade 10, that she wanted to explore the world. In her books, Ms. Toews has so eloquently shown us the big dreams born of small towns. Interested in storytelling in all its forms, she took film studies at this university, and after graduation, pursued journalism. As a mother of three, she chased stories while balancing a toddler on her hip. It was as a journalist that she first felt the pull of fiction writing. She was bringing to life a documentary about single mothers living on social assistance and knew she wanted to push beyond the boundaries of reporting, bringing greater depth and dignity. There was so much more to say about the strength of these women and their experiences. And in 1996, Turnstone Press published her debut novel, Summer of My Amazing Luck. She won the John Hirsch Award for the most promising Manitoba writer, and the book became a bestseller. Ms. Toews has since gone on to become one of the most admired authors across this country. She will tell you that the essence of her craft and of life is to create connection with another. For everyone to feel less alone. We are grateful to join Ms. Toews on this journey. Mr. Chancellor, it is an honor for me to ask on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba that you confer on Ms. Miriam Toews the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Toews.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this honor. It's amazing, actually. I'm so happy to be here today. And congratulations to all of you graduates and to your parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, therapists, social workers, probation officers, to all the people who stuck by you and encouraged you. It's a real achievement. Well done, everyone. I'm going to read this. Yeah, that's right. I'm nervous, and I'm not a normal speech giver or really normal in any regard, so I'm going to read this, and I'll try to be quick. For me, coming to the campus today is a little bit like coming home. My entire family, myself, my sister, both my parents have degrees, real ones like you, from the U of M. And we all had and have a lot of memories, good memories. Well, you know, good and bad memories, mostly good. For instance, it blew my mind when I found out I could get a degree by watching movies. In my small town Mennonite world, movies were absolutely taboo, like usury or incest. Good, decent people just had nothing to do with them. But at the U of M, not only was I given permission to watch movies, I was given a degree, film studies. That changed my world, truly. I have other great memories from the U of M, like buying Lark cigarettes at UMSU. The slogan on the cigarette pack was, richly rewarding and uncommonly smooth. I also had a baby while I was a student here. That was a surprise, a very nice one. See what happens when you smoke? My son is here today, about to have a baby of his own, which you can understand makes me about to become a grandmother. It's very exciting. I was young then and on my own, and like way too many people, couldn't afford daycare. And I'll always be grateful to a prof I had then named Keith Fulton for inviting me to bring my baby to class. No problem, she said, bring the baby. Thanks, Owen, for sleeping through all those women's studies classes so I could listen and learn a little bit more about myself and others like me. Thanks also to my mom. She's here too. Once, one of my fiendishly wealthy cousins accidentally put some money into her bank account, and she immediately, before my cousin became aware of his mistake, used it to pay off my student loan. And permit me to say right here, I believe that university education should be free because it is a human right and not a privilege. Anyway, it was her money, technically, but that's a super long story about patriarchy that we don't have time for now, particularly because it seems to be a story without end for the moment. I have to admit that this situation is reminiscent of one of my many recurring nightmares. I'm in a comedy club in the wings, and a stage manager comes up to me and says, "You're on, give me 5 minutes." He pushes me onto the stage, but I don't have any material, just one old joke. Why was the Amish woman excommunicated? Too Mennonite. Don't worry if you don't get it, it's a niche thing. I'm trying to figure out the meaning of this recurring nightmare, why I keep having it. I suspect it has something to do with the hundreds of church sermons I sat through in the earliest years of my life. Almost 52 a year, from the age of 3 until close to the time I graduated from my Steinbach High School and fled to Winnipeg. These church pastors assumed the highest authority available to them. They used the gospel, for the most part, to control and punish. In their divine wisdom, they thought they should save me, just a little kid, from drowning in sin and darkness, even while deftly removing the things that kept me afloat: my intellect, my conscience, my soul. So it makes me uneasy to be standing here on a platform at a lectern, be robed, and expected to preach the truth to you. I have an aversion to authority, especially the admonitory kind. I can't say what's best for you. No one can. Not your parents, not your friends, not the celebrities and the screens. Your best guide will always be that compass deep inside you, your desire. It's the most precious thing in the world, that mysterious yearning that pushes you to act and go towards something. You'll need it to guide you every time you're lost or standing at a fork in the path. You'll have to ask yourself, what do I want? The world will sometimes do what those preachers tried to do to me, co-opt your desire. People will say that what you want is misguided, foolish, and naive. They will tell you that your salvation isn't to be found where your compass is pointing you, but somewhere else, probably in a place where the ground is well trodden, well lit, and well guarded by the militants of the status quo. The magnetic forces in your life may become so strong that your inner compass ceases to work. What then? Of all the sermons I had to sit through, nearly 1,000, there was only one that stood out. I still think of it today. The pastor, instead of threatening and shaming the congregation, described to us a conception of the world that was open-hearted and outward-looking. He talked about agape. It's a Greek word. It means love, though not the kind you feel when you're hot for someone or the love you naturally feel for your family or your friends. It's love as described in Corinthians 13, humble, unglamorous love that's about everyday kindness and compassion and goodwill, offering solicitude to strangers, defending people in need, without calculation, without expectation of reciprocity. But it's important to understand that agape is not simply a selfless, altruistic practice. Our lives depend on this kind of love, as individuals, as communities, as a species on this planet. When I create the conditions for another person's self-realization, I'm making it possible for them to do the same for me. To put it simply, you can only truly serve yourself by serving others. That was the pastor's formulation, and it made me think, and this is a reference for the parents in the audience, of the last lyric on the Beatles album, Abbey Road. In the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And so, during those times when your inner compass is all out of whack and you sense you're straying from your true course, agape. All right, church is over. Thanks for listening. Very soon it will be time to celebrate. And like my mother has been telling me for over 50 years, have fun, good luck, and don't work too hard. Congratulations again.